We have a selection of incredible business owners here with us in the room today, guys to my right here. So, starting closest to me, Mr. Mark Tynan, NC Fitness, based in Cork. He was Member of the Year also in 2020. Good, we got that right.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Jayden Clay, who's the owner of Your Athlete Hub in Australia. Travel over. Member of the Year 2024. Right. And Darren, over from Germany, Uplift Fitness. Right. Yes. Yeah. And Member of the Year 2025, our most recent winner. Take a seat beside you guys. My legs are dying. Mark, you know what? You're gonna kick us off, Mark.
Yeah.
You love chat. All right. Mark, mindset and resilience. In a one sentence, is there any areas or any times in your business that you had to overcome maybe adversity or dig a little bit deeper to move forward?
Yeah, I suppose there's been plenty of them. Most recently in the last couple of weeks, yeah, I've suffered probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to suffer in business. I wish I could share it all with you, but I couldn't. But yeah, I definitely faced a lot of it, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What was it that got you through that? Again, you don't have to share it in enough details, but what was it? Are you out the other side now? Are you still in the middle of it?
Yeah, I'd say about a day or two out the other side, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, just about out the other side. I suppose just trusting what I do and the belief that team and the community has shown in me that it wasn't something that I could ever control. And yeah, it's I'm definitely out the other side. The community are brilliant. My members are fantastic. My staff are unbelievable. My partner works with me and she's always placing trust in me. So I think definitely the community people, friends and family and staff are what got me through the hard times, yeah, for sure.
Amazing. Yeah. Jayden, yourself, any mindset tips for us, considering you obviously work with predominantly athletes, and so mindset is obviously a big element, right? Any kind of mindset tips that you can maybe share with our business owners here?
Mindset tips. I think a big thing for me is just thinking about the big picture. Like often we think about the then and the now, like we might have a crisis or a big fire that we have to put out, and just thinking or being reminded of the long-term goal. To elaborate a little bit, like often there might be challenges that I face and go, oh shit, this now, have to deal with this or that. And then it's awesome to have a supporting team like Sarah, especially Shane, always reminding me of, hey, at this milestone in 2 or 3 years, you'll be here. This is what you'll be achieving. So it's always good to keep the long-term vision at the front of your mind.
How do you turn that long-term vision into now action?
Yeah, good question. It's sometimes, I think it's just like that guiding light. It's like, I know that I'm going to achieve this. So it's just working backwards to what I have to do now and what's going to have the biggest impact on the business at that point in time, if that sort of makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Darren, for yourself, going back a couple of years, did you see yourself in Germany? Was that your future vision, opening up your own small group PT studio in Germany, Frankfurt?
Never.
Never, really? So what was it?
The plan was actually to go to Australia. So I visited Australia and ended up meeting a girl, and a year later then I ended up moving to Germany. So my path definitely changed. I think I always had in the back of my head that I wanted my own facility. But yeah, I suppose just never really felt.
Correct.
Hello.
Better? Yeah.
So yeah, I just never really felt, I suppose, settled enough to take that step to open a facility. So when I went to Germany, I kind of changed paths from originally working with athletes and in the S&C world, and I chose to go down the business route instead.
As usual, and we talk a lot about culture and community. Can you hear me, or do you want me to? I'm good. Oh, yeah. All right. So we speak a lot about culture and building communities, and one thing that strikes me is that you now have built a really successful community and a great bunch of people in Germany. To me, that sounds
difficult, and how did you go about doing that?
Yeah, so at the start, I would say I got out there a lot. Probably don't do it as much now because I maybe don't have to as much, too busy with everything else. But there was a couple of specific things I did. I started a Facebook group, and we called it a social workout. And basically, once a month, we would run, myself and a friend of mine, he's a yoga teacher, and we'd run a free event which just brought people in through various other Facebook groups then. And we got up to, I think, about 1,500 people in the group. And then maybe a year or two later, when I launched my studio, I had a place to post about it. I had contacts from it, and it's kind of just grown from there then. So then once we had the studio, it just kind of built with through referrals and the typical kind of ways to grow after that. But initially what I did was set up that group to network. And I didn't really want to go to other networking events. A lot of them were based around like drinking or just various different parties and stuff. So I actually just set up my own and brought the people to me instead, because if they're coming for fitness, then clearly they have an interest of some sort in fitness. And most of the people were international as well, and that's kind of generally who we have as members.
Mark, back over to you. On expansion or growing, like, is that on the cards for you? Is there more? What's the next step?
So yeah, it's I'd never say never, but I suppose the last couple of years have been just so crazy with growing. We went from having a sole trader myself in 2019 to a very, very busy our personal training studio, and now we have a coffee shop and a Pilates studio all from 3 doors next to each other. So I suppose this year is the focus on myself and my own personal growth. I always said that my goal, my dream is to marry my partner, and that's happening in a couple of weeks' time. So this year is me. It's time to focus on my own growth. But yeah, look, we're rebranding this year too. We're changing the name of what we have. We're not moving or expanding or making bigger walls. We're just building the brand from the inside out. And we're changing the name. So that's the business goal this year, and the personal goal is to get married. Yeah. So yeah.
And Jayden, for you, a very exciting future ahead of you, but I know you said it's changed slightly recently, right? Your vision, and maybe it's always evolving. Do you feel like now you're set on that vision, or do you think it'll evolve further and maybe change again?
Yeah, I think initially when we started in business, we don't really know what we're going to achieve or what we want to achieve. And it becomes more clear the further you go down that path. And for now, it's multi-site, and looking forward to eventually go down the franchise route, which would be really cool, because for those who don't know what I do, the business itself, it's strength and conditioning for aspiring youth athletes. And to take that across Australia is the dream.
When is have you in motion already, or when's this, like, do you have a timeline on these?
Yeah, good question. So next year, opening HQ, which is going to be our Beretta facility, and we can base out a lot of the franchise, I guess, operations from the headquarters, and then from there, about 12 months after, is to open Site 2, and then after that, is continue to expand and then take it to market in probably about 3 to 4 years' time. So, yeah.
On the team front then, how do you go about building a team? How did you build a team, and how are you continuously improving on becoming a better leader?
Honestly, to start off with, this is probably my weakest point, I guess. So I was so bad at it. I was really, really bad at being, not a leader as such, but I guess having a strong team. And it's taken many, many lessons, many failures to be able to evolve to being in a position where I believe that it's in a good place. So we do a range of different things, and the one thing that I'll speak to and attest to is having weekly one-on-ones with our staff. If anyone can do that, if you have a small team, just to understand what they're going through, and being my personality, I want to be on top of things and in control, and actually taking a back seat has been amazing. So like, I actually got AI to measure this, but I was dominating the conversations with our team. It was about 65% of me speaking. So I got to record it, got transcripts, etc. And it's no good. Like you want your team to feel valued. You want them to put their opinions forward. And since I've done that recently, it's just changed the whole relationship I have with my staff, which has been amazing.
It's great insights there. Darren, for yourself, I hear expansion is on the cards or on the horizon for you also.
Yeah, so we're planning on open. We currently have one studio, so it's in Frankfurt in Germany, just if anyone's wondering. And no, that's not a German accent, it's a Wexford accent. But yeah, the plans then is to kind of basically refine Studio One as much as we can so that the model is correct and that we're not multiplying problems. So that's kind of where we're at now, but with the focus on then multiplying to hopefully studio number 2, studio number 3 within Frankfurt, and then let's see after that. I think the next steps reveal themselves then.
Yeah.
And you talk about the refining Studio One. What does that look like? Is it a process? Is it the team? Is it, marketing? Is it all the above?
Yeah, it's absolutely every part of that. I think that takes the longest time. It's easy to just go and open up a second studio, but it's not as easy to have the perfect model that really serves the members, that really serves staff, that you can pay staff well enough, that you can pay yourself well enough, that you're not under too much stress as well as a business owner yourself. So all of the above, and I think the last probably year and a half, so 2025 was kind of really when I switched the mindset to that. I kind of went from me being just in the studio on my own to actually thinking, okay, how do I get this to grow? And that's been a step-by-step process of hiring staff, of learning how to do that, sales drives, processes for all that. Marketing is currently what we're focusing on, because if we are going to have a second and third studio, we need to have that really nailed down in order to get enough members to fill that.
And this is just a pure question, and Mark, I'd like to take it first. Which would you put with more importance, sales or marketing?
Good question.
Yeah. Think about it yourselves, by the way, guys. Think about this question.
Sales, probably.
Yeah.
But then I suppose you can't have one without the other. Marketing probably comes first, and sales come with the marketing, I'd imagine. But I suppose we've been in such a lucky position that sales and marketing never was something that we had to massively focus on. From a Google Ads point of view or a social media point of view, we're very kind of lucky in that regard. I'm a firm believer sales come from within. If you serve your members correctly, you show up on time, you're professional, you coach them properly and serve your community, then they most likely will do the sales for you. So, but I definitely think, marketing probably does come first. Yeah.
You created the demand though as well, much like we talk about Danny in the case study. You created that demand by becoming the people in your area, right?
Yeah.
But that was built over years and building trust.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I think, people always say to me, "What's your sales strategy?" And I just serve my people. That's kind of that's my strategy always. If I need to leverage sales and leverage certain platforms and Google Ads and things, I have that tool there, but it's not my strategy. My strategy is to serve the people. If I serve the people, then we should do it.
Same question, you can pass it across to Jayden. Sales, marketing, both?
Yeah, can I give a different alternative answer?
Go for it.
Awesome. I think just making sure that thing's good. Like if you have a really good service or product, ultimately it sells itself. Like I think making sure that thing is good and showing that you care, that would be my take on it. But if I had to pick an answer, it's probably the sales systems, making sure that they're strong enough. Because I remember when I started, I had no formal sales system, and it was a mess. Like it literally, people would come in because they heard good things about the gym, and that's the only reason they would come in. So, as soon as I introduced the sales system with some guidance, and then had my team do it and remove myself, that's when it really started to grow. And now it's really cool to see the team take care of it. And it's something that I can be here in Ireland today and not even stress about sales. Like our team's got it completely undercover. Like it's all done. I had a report sent through early this morning and just looked at it, ticked it off, and yeah, happy days.
That's what Darren.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with the lads in terms of if the service is good enough and if just the business is good enough, people will just want to join and they'll tell their friends about it, etc. I think, however, if you are looking to expand them faster, you're going to have to nail both of them. I think it probably varies based on the current situation, which one is more important, because you know, for us now at the moment, let's say, well, yeah, it's hard to answer because both are important, but let's say as soon as we open up a second studio, if nobody knows that we even exist, then you know, we can have the best sales in the world, but we then need to focus more on marketing. If our marketing is great and loads of people know about us, but we can't close, well then sales is the focus. So I think it switches based on your journey.
Yeah. That's what you need that time.
Great insights, and I love that you challenged me on that. That's ideally what I want to do. I'm sure a lot of you in the room would probably agree. Right? You're really, really good at your craft. You've been amazing at that. Shane, I think your talk was on that practically, right? Guys, I'd love to open up the floor if you have any questions, and hopefully you do for any of the team here. Yeah. Perfect.
Hello, I'm Marius from Romania, and I have one question for you related to sales. So, if you hire now a trainer in your facilities, which would be the best sales tip you'd give to that guy or girl?
Let's go. What's the far?
Who's the bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Everyone?
Number one sales.
I know.
I would say not having one tip, but having a process. So having like a proper sales system, a proper process that they can follow. I think that's most important rather than one specific tip. Because if you give someone a tip, they might do a completely different sales process to you and might get a completely different just results over time. So that's what, it's maybe not a direct answer to your question, but that's what I would say.
Yeah, I'll come from a different perspective. I think that when you're onboarding someone to sales for the first time, not everyone loves it. Not everyone loves sales. But if you can shift that narrative to show the importance of it and go, hey, we can help people here, it can be truly so powerful and get that buy-in from day one. So that'll be my answer to that.
Yeah, I'm probably going to rob something that Shane probably would have said today or said in the past, but I firmly believe and stand by what Shane has told me since day one was help harder. And I always found in the sales calls that I was putting pressure on the person to sign up. You're actually helping someone by getting them to sign up. So when you close a sale or you're asking them for money, you're actually essentially asking them, do you want to get fit and healthy for the rest of your life? And then they should close the sale. So help harder, have those hard conversations. I've often had conversations with people when they were ringing me saying, Mark, I can't come to the gym tomorrow, I'm suffering really bad with my mental health, I'm just going to give up. I'll pick up the phone and be like, yeah, giving up is easy. Giving up is very, very, very easy. So yeah, let you give up, no problem. You can give up and close the day. What's that teaching yourself something? Are you really going to give up on yourself? Most likely they'll come back the following day and say thanks for that phone call. So yeah, help harder is probably the one tip I would give you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good answer.
All right, lads. I'll start the question with a bit about myself, and then I'll go to you, right? I did the movement center gym thing. I closed it when COVID came along. I found that it was all consuming when I look at it retrospectively. I have an 18-year-old son and I have a 5-year-old girl. Running my movement center took a lot of time away from fatherhood, and when I was in the presence of my son, I was still very much in the business. So I had a huge degree of apprehension. Like when my daughter was born, it was non-negotiable. I wasn't going to put myself into a situation where potentially business could take away my time and attention. My daughter's 5 now. She's going to school. I'm in a place with business with a few elements that I can piece together and potentially move forward and create my move, so to speak. But I'm still apprehensive to pull the trigger because I never jeopardize time with my children nor my bandwidth to father. So I'd like you boys look like you know, it's a success, you're growing and it's going forward, and I don't doubt that you've had your fair share of sacrifices both in your time and your bandwidth to tend to those who you love. I'm wondering about your position now as you progress. Have you organised things such that you can move forward? Am I still here? Yeah. That you can move forward with confidence that the things that matter most to you, the circle around you, aren't going to be jeopardized, or is that a risk that you're willing to take as you progress?
Question. Who wants to head this up?
Danny B lads have kids. Nor do I, so I'll answer to the best of my ability anyway. So I suppose I don't have kids, so I can't answer the question from a father point of view, but I definitely can answer it from a time point of view. I've sacrificed a lot over the years, and I thought someone a while ago I was doing 70-hour weeks for the last 3 weeks because we lost a staff member, and then trying to replace it and find the right fit. It's just the responsibility came back on me when things were tough, and I suppose as we're self-employed, that's kind of responsibility we kind of do take. Is things get hard at times, and you know you're responsible to try and pick up a little bit of slack. But I found when things were hard, really hard, and maybe it was for yourself as well at the time, that like a lot of sacrifice going towards time, that I have to put myself first. No matter what happens, I have to put myself first. I suffered really bad in my head, and when things were really good, I was at my worst due to stress from work. So I have to put myself first and put my partner first. My partner's my life, my dog's my life, so we kind of have to come to an agreement that I put them first. Of course, to have things that you want in life, like marriage and houses and things like that, it comes with sacrifice of time and energy, and you know there is going to be a little bit of the more step. But as soon as I see myself getting into the realm of suffering and pain and anxiety and things like that, I pull back. I go to therapy every month, I exercise really well, I eat well, I focus really hard on myself. There will be weeks where you're back in the gym for 70 hours and I go, God, how do I get back here again? That's just that's a short-term thing. That's kind of like, yeah, look, I'll just have to weather the storm over 3 or 4 weeks, we'll get back. I've hired again 2 days ago. Within 3 weeks now we'll be back to normal again and back to myself. So yeah, I suppose I'm kind of probably one of the worst examples here, because I used to take things on a lot, but I structure my business so well now that I could go away tomorrow morning, like yourself, for a month, and the gym will be in safe hands. I have manager Sharon and head coach Sean and 2 other coaches now, and it's left in very safe hands. The business was never the business was my stress before, but since I started delegating tasks and roles and responsibilities, I don't really suffer with stress. Yeah, I do more hours, but stress is quite good.
Yeah, I think for me, the way I answer this is, it really comes back to, is it worth it? It's like, where do you want to be in 5 or 10 years' time? And look, I'm a very busy person, I think we all are, but like I play lots of sport, I do have a lot of commitments, I'm on committees and things like that as well. And it really comes down to priorities for me. So like, ultimately, if it means me staying up to 12 p.m, 1 a.m. or whatever it is, like, if it's worth it and it's going to set your family up, like, for me, it's a no-brainer. I just dive into it. Like, sometimes when those things are hard, if you really think something it's going to be hard, it's probably worth it. It's going to be hard. If it's going to give you the outcomes you want, lean into the hard shit. Go for it, I reckon. So that's just my perspective.
So again, another answer from someone with no kids, but look, I am that's a big question in my mind at the moment. If I'm planning on starting a family in the next few years, and you know, myself and Shane spoke about this in Frankfurt on Monday, and it's something that I'm really kind of working towards. And what we spoke about was, up until now, let's say I've kind of sacrificed myself not sacrificed myself, but made a sacrifice myself every time I've tried to grow. So that's, let's say, whether it's putting in more hours into the business or putting in more money into the business and me taking a hit, whatever it is. And I just think from now on, I'm just going to try and grow without making any of those sacrifices. So why can't I grow with working less hours? Why can't I grow without sacrificing my income or whatever it is? And I think that's maybe the question that I'm asking myself anyway. I can only speak for me. But, you know, why do you have to work 70 hours, which, you know, I've done as well, but But do you have to do that? Is there a better way? And I think if we ask ourselves better questions, then I think we can get better answers from that. So I think that's definitely one thing. The second thing then is getting a good team on board, like the lads have said there, where you have, you know, I'm very lucky as well. I have Christos all the way from Greece.
Yeah.
So, you know, just getting a good team on board that you can trust. And I think that's something too. I'm not sure exactly what line of business you're wanting to go back into and stuff like that, but yeah, the team and just asking yourself the question: Do I have to sacrifice, or can I grow a business without doing that?
And maybe just to add as well, I do have a kid, not kids, but and he's only 2. I think I built our business with that in mind, and so a lot of, and now our team are having kids as well, and you know, Max has her child here with her today, which is pretty cool. And I think I'm actually finding that building a business with intention to live a life like that actually gives me a lot of freedom to spend more time with my son. Like I'm around, bar these 2 weeks where you know I'm here and they're back in Australia. I'm able to take my son swimming, and that's a priority for me. And I'm able to take him to all of his activities, and that's something that I value. And so definitely, I couldn't do that if I didn't have the team you see here today and the team that aren't here today. So definitely, it's a people piece. Can you build with enough time and attention to be ready for that position? And I think there's an owner here who's not in the room today, Cahill from Carrie Delaney. He's a fantastic operator. He was here last year for any of you that were here as well. And I remember he said to me, we started working with him 5 years after he had been in operation. Great guy. He speaks about this so I can share it too. And he said for the first 5 years in business he was, and I quote, barely above the breadline was his message. And he had a young family, and you know now they're grown up. He's now flying, doing very well, successful. He has his time back. He has a team, etc. It was all him at the start, and you know he was the one doing everything, and not being rewarded for it either. So I think that was like the worst of both worlds. He wasn't getting the upside, and he was getting the downside. But the other day he said, you know what? My daughter is actually, she's a real knack for coaching, and I could see a world where she's the succession plan and takes this thing over, and she would do really well. And it's interesting because he said if you asked him 5 years ago, and if his daughter said, what do you reckon, I'd like to get into being a trainer, he would have said, get a real job, don't do that, it's terrible. And like her version of business ownership and her awareness of that would have been like, it's a bad thing based on his experience. So yeah, I think definitely my life has changed since having a child, Finley, and but with intentionality and with the right team, I think you can get the job done in a way that doesn't force you to sacrifice.
Time for one more question. Yep.
For whomever wants to answer in the panel, what's the worst mistake you did at the beginning of your business?
I assume it was going to be easy.
To be fair, there was many mistakes, but I remember when I first hired my first ever staff member, I never had an evaluation process in Boar. I never had an evaluation process for that staff member, so basically I started a staff member on like way higher wages than I should have, and wasn't too sure. I actually don't even think I was with Shane at the time, and I wasn't too sure what the industry standard was to even pay a personal trainer, because I was just paying myself. Started him on a high wage, never had an evaluation process, and yeah, he just expected more and more and more and gave less and less and less. So it was definitely making sure that like when you get going, to get a system in place that you evaluate your staff and make them feel like that when they are evaluated, that they're evaluated with care and compassion and kindness, and give criticism and give rewards for when they do a good job and over time do, because yeah, I definitely made that mistake at the start, but it forced me into action, and it's not a mistake, it's a learning curve. It's something that you learn from. So,
yeah, so I think when I started, my biggest area that I didn't have a really good understanding of was the accounting side. So for me is finding or identifying those areas that you're not good at and potentially outsourcing that. I wish that I did that sooner and spent bigger money on better accountants, because I've got a team now, and honestly, they are fantastic. There's all these changes going on with the government in Australia, and I'm getting emails and updates literally when I'm overseas. And it's just really, really good to have that insight and to fill the gap where you're not too confident at.
I would actually say for me, it's more so not leaning into my strengths. So kind of maybe a similar answer in a way, but actually just trusting yourself in terms of what your strengths are, and I suppose having the self-awareness in terms of who you are and what way you work. Let's say for me, for example, I'm someone who likes to move fast, and I think I pushed against that and tried to work a different way. But I think Shane probably had to put up with me in a few calls there where it was just, he was like, why are you doing this? You need to move faster because that's who you are. And I think when I started doing that, probably started 2025 is when that changed. And then things have just grown a lot faster for me when I leaned into my strengths more.
Bit of a funny question, lads, but you're all kind of owner-operators or have been in the past, so you've been on the gym floor doing the coaching, whatever, so you've gotten into the industry for a reason, that you want to help people, etc. I know you've obviously built businesses that are quite successful, and whilst the day-to-day running of your facilities and your gyms and your businesses is provide service, provide the product, do you ever think about where is the business going? Is it having another impact? Is that something like, is there a legacy behind your business? Are you aiming for more than just what you're delivering day to day? Or are you playing a bigger game that you want to have impact in your communities, etc.? Is there something that's driving you internally? Because just from hearing a couple of you now speak and meeting you seem like really highly motivated people. And that's just something I'd be very interested in hearing.
Yeah, you want to answer?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so if I can tell a really quick story, and I'll tell the short version. So when I was younger, I played a decent level of cricket, and I think that there's such a big gap in Australia at getting the assistance that you need. Have someone you can lean on, especially when things aren't going your way. You might be injured, you might not have someone you can console in potentially if you're down in the dumps after having a bad performance. And for me, starting this business was to be able to provide that, right? Someone you could turn to. And I want the business to be holistic in the sense that we can provide that to athletes across Australia. And I'm pretty gung-ho to be able to provide semi-private strength conditioning to aspiring athletes across Australia. That's my thing. It's just not there at the moment. There's a lot of people. I'm not sure. Are you guys familiar with F45? Yeah, awesome. So that a lot of athletes were going to F45, and for those in the strength conditioning industry, you would say that it's not the best training system for professional sport, or for sport in general, because you're just training lots and there's heaps of fatigue, etc., etc. So for me, it's like, can we provide something on scale that's like F45? And I think that looking back to my story, I didn't quite make it. I stopped when I was about 19. But if I had that support, I wouldn't have become injured. I wouldn't have been slow, I'd been more athletic. And I think I would have gone a long way further. So that's what it for me. Yeah.
I come from the back arse of the north side in the middle of Cork City, which everyone knows there's a lot of poverty and social issues in there. And we came up like in a very tough area, very working family, had nothing. So when I started my own gym, and when I got help myself and when I lost all the weight, I kind of realised that my main goal here is to help people, no matter what, no matter how much money comes into the bank, no matter how many people we have, how many gyms and how many businesses, always the route is to help people. And I remember when I came to this first event, it was like a poster, it was like, what you want to do? And I was like, help as many people in the north side as possible and become a leader within the north side. So most of the people that we work with now are people who suffer mental health or addiction issues, people who've been down really bad roads, past people coming out of prison that are committed crimes and stuff like that. So like, I'm great, like people always now recommend, we have the maddest of the mad of the north side coming into the gym. If you're ever on our social medias, there was a photo shoot a couple of weeks ago of like the two Norries, and they had a horse and paddy hats on, and they're just mad. But I love every single one of them because I've made an impact on them, and they've made an impact on me. I've met them in a crazy time, and they've had such a huge impact on me, and now they're recommending all of the people in the north side who struggle, go to him, he helps people who struggle and he doesn't judge you. So yeah.
On the answer. Sure.
So I'd say for me, I have 3 parts to it. So the first part is, let's say, the members and just helping people. So what we generally do is help people who just cannot stay consistent with their health and fitness, and we kind of bring them into a sustainable routine. So that's generally what we specialize in, so not with athletes, stuff like that. So that's definitely number 1, and that's kind of where it stemmed from. I think now it's developed into 2 more things. So the second one is actually being able to offer coaches really good jobs that they actually enjoy and where they can actually see a future in. And that's what we're kind of trying to refine in the model as well, in terms of can we get enough revenue and profit there to actually pay coaches well and have a path for coaches to go into. Because I think we all know in the fitness industry there's a lot of times not great jobs on offer, even though we're all so passionate about the industry, and I think that's a shame. So that was probably the next thing that motivated me. I think selfishly then the third thing was I genuinely just love to build a business, and I do want to build something for myself too. And I think that's something that maybe a lot of people don't want to say out loud because maybe we get viewed negatively, but at the end of the day, I do want to build something for my future as well. So I think, that's the honest 3-part answer.
We might take one more question, guys, if that's all right. If anyone would like to have one more?
I've
Yeah, no.
for Mark. Why are you changing your business name or your gym name, and are we allowed to know what it is?
Yeah, I'll announce it here first.
I know,
So I literally just told the story of what my gym came from, so it's a good way to explain. So my name is Mark Tynan. I set up as Empty Fitness. I was a sole trader. We're keeping the roots, we're changing to more than health and fitness because we've always viewed ourselves as more than a gym. So it's going to be more than health and fitness. MT is still in the name, but it's not actually me because it is more than me now. It's a community, it's the staff that have helped me build it, it's my partner, it's not just me anymore. And I'm proud to say that. It's not just me that contributed to the growth, it's all the staff and the team, the community in the north side as well. So we're going to be more than health and fitness in November at the end of this year. So Universal is put out there now, so it has to happen. So I appreciate that question.
Guys, thank you so much. We appreciate the honesty and some great answers, some great questions also. Thank you all so much. Can we get one more round of applause for